Thank you very much for visiting my channel. If not difficult, like and subscribe to my channel to always be aware of events. Thank. Russia is laying the groundwork to destroy a key Ukrainian dam which would flood Kherson and cover their retreat from the city, a think tank has concluded. General Surovikin, Russia's new supreme commander in Ukraine, has spoken to Russian media in recent days about what he called a devastating strike on the Nova Kakhovka dam, which he said was being plotted by Kyiv's troops. Surovikin, who has also been preparing the Russia public for a retreat from the region, said the blast would flood Kherson city and cause widespread damage. Analysts from the Institute for the Study of War have concluded this is likely preparation for a false flag attack that would cover Russia's retreat and prove a distraction from its latest battlefield humiliation. Breaching the dam would also be another blow to Ukraine's already battered energy grid, with people told to brace for rolling 4-hour blackouts to start today after a third of the country's power plants were blown up in a little over a week. Ukraine has already struck the dam several times with long-range rockets, because a key roadway runs over the top of it which Russia was using to supply its troops. But Kyiv's attacks stopped once the roadway was unusable. Blackouts will occur across Ukraine from 7 a.m. local time today, the country's national grid operator said, and continue each day until 10 p.m. The power cuts will affect not just electricity supplies, but also heating, with people told to stock up on warm socks and blankets and hugs for family and friends as winter approaches and temperatures dip below freezing overnight. Russia has been using hundreds of missiles and suicide drones to attack Ukraine's infrastructure in an apparent attempt to break civilian will to continue the war. Such attacks are a war crime under international law. In an evening address, Zelensky warned that Russian terror will be directed at energy facilities, and urged the country to conserve electricity starting at 7 a.m. He added that the government was working on the creation of mobile power supply points for critical infrastructure in cities and villages. Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko asked residents of the capital not to turn on major electrical appliances, saying, "Even a small saving and reduction of electricity consumption in each residence will help to stabilize the national energy system's operation." Ukraine said it had downed several Russian rockets over Kyiv in the third consecutive day of attacks on the capital, with Zelensky saying 10 Iranian-made drones aimed at the city had also been destroyed Wednesday. Russia, facing humiliation at the hands of Ukraine's army, has turned to attacks away from the battlefield in an apparent attempt to force Zelensky to negotiate a peace deal that will favor Moscow. The Kremlin's latest defeat in combat now appears to be brewing in southern Kherson, where Putin's new commander, Sergei Surovikin, has begun laying the groundwork for a retreat from the city. Civilian evacuations began yesterday, with Volodymyr Saldo saying 60,000 will be forced to leave over the next 6 days, suggesting a battle for control of the city could begin within a week. A Ukrainian representative called the push by Russia to evacuate Kherson the equivalent of deportation. The city has been in Moscow's hands since the earliest days of the invasion. Putin's aim is to create a kind of panic in Kherson and an image to fuel propaganda, Sergei Klan said, adding that Ukrainian forces were still pushing their counter-offensive southward. He said the Russians were using the evacuations as a pretext to justify their withdrawal from Kherson and more generally from the right bank of the Dnieper River. Oleksiy Danilov, Secretary of Ukraine's National Security and Defense Council, criticized Moscow's move as criminal.